All right, so today we have a clip here of Michael Knowles talking about transgenders once again. Trigger warning, he says some pretty mean shit about transgenders. But we're going to examine some of the claims that Michael Knowles makes here.
The conservatives didn't start the fight. Society was working just fine on the basis that men are men and women are women for all of human history until like 5 minutes ago.
That's... I don't agree with that sentiment. And to the point of the conservatives didn't start the fight, you guys did. The conservatives always start the fight with literally everything. I don't have, evidence to show of that, but we know that that's true. He can say whatever he wants, but trans people fighting for rights as trans people, human rights, is not them starting a fight. Trans rights are human rights. If Michael Knowles doesn't agree with that, Michael's is anti-human rights. So, that is what it is. But
the libs always do this. The libs upend the culture. They're the aggressors in the culture war. They push all manner of radicalism with a lot of effort and a lot of money, all the way down to the littlest of kids. And then they say,
yeah, it's the left that has money, guys. I can't believe he said that. It's the left that has the money.
Say, hey, why do you care, bro?
The left
moment
has
that
money.
You react to that. I'm not the one who first cared. I thought things were going fine.
You guys are the ones who first cared. You really are. You guys are. And then we have bills that at state levels, state legislation that comes down on trans people really hard and does not affirm or confirm their rights as trans individuals. And then Michael Knowles says, well, we didn't start the fight. Y'all did start the fight. Actually, y'all actually started the fucking
reality.
Fight. Not true.
And I'm saying no. And so why aren't you just rolling over for our radicalism and falsehood? Because it's wrong and it's harmful. That's why.
It's not. It's not, though, and I'm going to show you guys why everything he's saying about transgenders and everything said by everyone at the Daily Wire about transgenders is wrong, and I feel like I have a pretty good case, pretty good sources, too.
Certainly, even you must know, sir, that you can't stop people from being transgender. But in case you don't...
Not only can we stop people from being transgender...
You can't.
Nobody can be transgender because it's not a real category of being.
Oh, you heard what he
said. It's not a real thing. That's what the debate's over.
Michael Knowles just said, you guys heard it, that transgenders are not real. He said it's not a real thing. That's what he said. But guys, if we go and look, and if you guys aren't familiar, Michael Knowles' boss, the creator of the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, he went to Harvard. This is something that Ben Shapiro loves to talk about. He loves to talk about how he went to Harvard. He went to Harvard for college. It's a very prestigious school. If I went to Harvard, I would probably brag about it too. But Michael Knowles saying that, transgenders aren't real is so far from the truth. And I actually have a lot of articles from Harvard themselves, and I have one that we're going to specifically dive into a little bit. But these are articles from Harvard, the school that Ben Shapiro went to. This is harvard.edu up here. You guys can see it. The title of this article right here is Moving Past the Binary, the Importance of Transgender and Non-Binary Inclusion and Gender Equity Research. So these articles are talking about why it's actually extremely important for us to research transgenderism. It's important for us to look at the anthropology of transgenders because this is important. Researchers, scientists, what does Ben Shapiro love to say? Facts don't care about your feelings. Science, facts say that this is important. We need to be looking at this. This article right here talks about why, and this is, again, harvard.edu. This is a fucking Harvard article. Ben Shapiro went to Harvard, so if we're going to trust Ben Shapiro for going to Harvard, we'll trust Harvard for this stuff too, right, guys? Okay? That's what we're going to do. It literally talks about why gender-affirming care is good for, this is specifically for youth. When youth receive gender-affirming care, it makes all the difference for their mental health, which makes all the difference for their physical health as well. While gender-affirming care may involve hormone therapy or surgery, its main point is to support gender non-conforming youth and their families with a team of providers that understands their needs. Denying those needs, or even worse, using reparative or conversion therapies, which is something Michael Knowles is going to talk about in just a second in the clip, to prevent or dissuade children and teens from different gender expressions is not only ineffective but can also cause real harm. This is why not just the AAP, but the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Service Administration and the American Psychiatric Association have all spoken out against us. We cannot change who we are, nor should we, especially when trying to change who we are comes at such a clear and terrible cost. It is a fundamental human right to be who we are and to get the care we need. And this person who wrote this is a doctor. She's a fucking doctor. So we can either trust the medical professionals, the literal experts, the people that do this for a living, or we can trust the guy who has a camera and a microphone and has a nice looking suit. He's got a nice suit. That's the only thing I can say about Michael Knowles. That's the only positive. He's not a terrible looking person. That's the only thing I can say about him.
Changed
I don't think appearance matters at all, but he's got nice clothes. Michael.
2015, and now boys can be girls and girls can be boys.
Also, just before I continue, I'm sorry, but can we just for a second talk about how these conservatives just think that you can wake up one day and say I'm a girl and that somehow magically makes you transition into the gender that you think that you really are? That's not how it works, okay? You don't just say it and it happens. They think you snap your fingers and it's said and done. That's how dumb these people are. They're unbelievably stupid, and they want to say, Michael Knowles wants to say, like, the anthropology of transgenderisms is not real. It's very real, bitch. You don't want to accept it. Live in a fucking delusion if you want to.
So are you
don't live
saying
in
we can't
reality. It
stop
doesn't
people
matter.
from being confused? Well, we can discourage people from being confused. Just as now.
You're not discouraging people from being confused. You are literally confusing people more by, again, going against the facts. Michael, what does your boss say? Listen to your boss, Michael. Facts don't care about your feelings. I don't care about your fifis, Michael. I really don't. It doesn't matter what you think or what you feel like. What matters is what is fact, what we know, what researchers are saying, what the experts in this field are saying. Michael, where is your fucking medical degree? Tell me. Show me, Michael. Please.
Now, our system of education and conversion therapy tries to convince confused children that they really are the opposite sex. So too, we could return to a system of proper education and psychological therapy and spiritual formation that gives you a correct metaphysics, which tells you that actually boys are boys and girls are girls. And
Michael, maybe one day the Daily Wire hosts will find one of these videos, and if they find any of them, if they ever watch any of my videos, and you guys know I cover the Daily Wire, I want them to watch this one right now, and I want Michael to see it, because I want him to know how fucking stupid he is, and how dumb he sounds when he says stupid shit like that. Because again, Michael's boss, Ben Shapiro, went to Harvard, and there's just extensive articles on Harvard's website talking about how transgenders need gender-affirming care. We, especially young people, need gender-affirming care. They talk about how the anthropology of transgenders is something that is literally currently being researched, and they talk about how important it is for us to be researching this stuff. They literally talk about how fucking people are born and they are assigned a sex based on their body characteristics or chromosomes. In cases where the body characteristics are not so clear, most of the time children are fine with their assessment of male or female, but sometimes the assignment can feel very wrong. Sometimes children truly feel they are in the wrong body, or they don't fit either sex, or they move between the two. There, again, you guys can go and look beyond the conservative echo chambers that exist everywhere on the internet. If you look beyond that and actually follow the science, again, a term that I hear conservatives say all the goddamn time. If you follow the science will tell you that transgenders are real. This is stuff that we are currently still learning about. We're still researching, and we should encourage people to learn about this stuff. We should encourage them to research this stuff. We should greatly encourage new things. This is progression, and Michael and Ben Shapiro might be scared of this, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because Michael Knowles can say whatever he wants. The Daily Wire can say whatever they want. They can sit there and say, well, transgenders aren't real. We can't have transgenders. You know, they don't exist. They do exist. You can live in your fucking faux reality all you want to, but the rest of us are going to live in the real world. And if you want to live in your little la-la land the rest of your life, you know, I mean, I guess you can do that, but everyone around you is going to fucking laugh at you.
You can't change
want him to
because your gender is an inseparable accident of the individual, present as long as the individual exists.
Not true. Michael's just, he's basing all of this on his religion. This is all based off his Christian religion. Michael, your Christian religion, I'm sorry, I'm going to say it, isn't supported by science. So, yeah, I don't know what we're going to do about that because I have the research on transgenders. That science says one thing, and the science about the Bible says another thing. So, I don't know what we're going to do about that one, Michael.
That's what I would do. So and you can do that. And even for the people who insist upon this delusion, you can tell.
It's, again, the gaslighting is crazy. Michael, you are living the delusion. Stop trying to spin it and say, these people are living delusion. No, Michael, you're scared. I'm going to say it again. I feel like Michael Knowles and all of these people, like Matt Walsh, I think he struggles with his gender identity. And I'm not saying that as a joke, and I'm not saying that lightly. I think Michael Knowles legitimately struggles with his gender identity. And that's what I'm going to title this fucking video to. And I don't care if it's clickbait because that's really what I think. I think Michael Knowles seriously struggles with his gender identity. And instead of facing it head on, instead of dealing with this issue, and it is an issue, and I have seen people struggle with their gender identity. It is a very real struggle for some people. Not for me, but I know that that is a struggle some people have. Michael, instead of running from this, and instead of turning around and attacking those that have been able to successfully deal with their gender identity issues, how about you, number one, man the fuck up. The conservatives love to talk about being masculine. Be a fucking man, Michael. Fucking stop being such a bigot and face your gender identity issue head the fuck on. Be a man about it. I don't know what else. I don't know what other take a normal person could have on it other than he's just a bigot or he struggles with his gender identity or, you know, it's a combination of both. And, you know,
them as we did until just a few years ago. Well, okay, you might be deluded in your own mind, sir, but you're not allowed to use the women's bathroom or play on the women's sports team or take women's jobs or any of the rest of it.
You know, again, you know, Michael wants to sit there and say that it's the transgenders, it's the people that are, you know, fighting for transgender rights that are living the delusion when it's him that's living the delusion. This is a face of a man who literally does not live in reality whatsoever at any point in time. But that's going to be it for this video. If you guys like the video, please hit the like button. It helps me out so much. If you guys want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and then press that little bell and turn on all notifications so you guys don't miss an upload.